Last year, Nigel Farage's party Reform UK cost the Tories dozens, maybe 100 plus seats at the election. Now it looks like Nigel Farage's party is hitting Labour too. But has Keir Starmer adopted the right strategy to deal with it? Right, this is the big picture. Last year's general election led to a Labour landslide. And now this is the situation from May the 1st this year, the council elections which put Reform in first place. Success at the expense of Labour too. So what would happen if we assumed that that result was evenly replicated across the parliamentary constituencies where there were elections? This is where those county council elections took place in England, shaded in grey. And within these areas are 77 complete Labour-held Westminster seats. Or here they are in a list. It includes places like Wickham, where Treasury Minister Emma Reynolds holds, or Lincoln, where there is the Foreign Office Minister Hamish Faulkner. Now, if for fun we map the county council results for May the 1st evenly across these general election constituencies, almost all those Labour seats are gone. All lost, apart from 5 of them. Mostly, it has to be said, to Reform UK. And what if we took that swing and applied it evenly across the whole country? Well, we could even see Angela Rayner losing her seat in Greater Manchester, Liz Kendall, Jess Phillips in Birmingham, gone. Now, yes, local and national elections are different, but it's worth noting that the YouGov national opinion polls paint a pretty similar picture to the local elections. Meanwhile, in 89 out of the 98 constituencies where Reform UK came second, Labour were in first, so Labour MPs are feeling the heat from Farage. And this man knows it. He knows the Reform UK threat is real. And he's chasing their voters. And you can tell this in recent announcements. Slashing aid spending, abandoning green promises, hard talk about immigration, and living on an island of strangers. So all of that seems sensible given the Reform threat? Actually not. Let's look at some interesting data. Right, this block here, this is all of the people that voted Labour in last year's general election. Now, thanks to YouGov polling, we know what people in this block now would do with their vote. And it shows Labour has lost more than half of last year's voters. Just 46% say they still vote for Keir Starmer's party. But despite this PM's strategy, they're not actually going to Reform UK in large numbers. Look at this, just 6% of Labour voters at last year's general election, 6 out of every 100 say they would vote Reform now. That's all. So where have the voters gone? Well, they've lost much more of the vote to liberal and left-wing parties. 12% to the Liberal Democrats, 9% to the Greens. Just pause there. That means the number of Labour voters who've switched to the Lib Dems and Greens, arguably on the left of the political spectrum, is 3 times the number going to Reform on the right. Just 2% go to the Tories, but much more seriously, 22% aren't going to vote or don't know or won't say what they'll do with the vote. Disgruntled ex-Labour voters who aren't happy with what the government is doing. The bottom line is that people who vote Reform really typically have never backed Labour in large numbers. Now, this chart here, it shows how Reform voters last year voted in every election since 2005. And you can see Reform voters are former UKIP voters, or they're Boris Johnson's Tories. It's never been ex-Labour voters in anything like large numbers. You can see the red line down here. Or let's put it another way. While 11% of voters may one day be open to voting Reform, 70% are at risk of going to Lib Dems or the Greens. 7 times the threat from Reform. And typically, these voters don't like the hardline Reform-leaning policies and talk of Keir Starmer recently. So here it is again. This box shows Labour's voters from last year's general election, and the colour is where they go now. There is a far bigger threat from the left and amongst those who might stay at home than there is from the right and from Reform. So our data suggests that Keir Starmer really is trying to be like Nigel Farage LITE, but it might not be the answer. Is Labour's strategy really working?